This lady is going viral for actually admitting that she divorced the love of her life for one reason, because she wanted more money.
I've been divorced before. You know, my first marriage, we made all of the mistakes. Unfortunately, he passed away.
So why did you guys get a divorce?
Because I really wanted something different. It's very unfortunate because he was the most loving, kind person. I had all the love and support that I could have ever wanted. But I think I went through a period wanting money. Like, I wanted to be with someone and be at a different level. And I saw him work all of the time. It's one thing to like work and work and work from like 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, day in, day out, and still have no resources. And for me to work, do the same, and just want a different life.
So, long story short, you wanted a different life and lifestyle than he was able to provide. And so you said, you know what, this, I'm out of here. I need more money.
I was selfish and took advantage of a real unfortunate situation, which was he loved me and David unconditionally. Every time we saw each other, like, you knew that was your soulmate, right?
Wow, I mean, so he was your soulmate? He just loved you.
He really did.
And you broke his heart. Oh, don't cry, Tim.
Okay, this video is going to be more of like a rant and just like probably a little bit TMI, but my divorce girlies are going to know what I'm talking about. So when I was married for 13 years, and I like 100% supported my ex-husband in like the startup of his business. Like, I created his LLC. I did all of these things. I pushed him to go to his taxidermy school. I made sure that he had a business. I picked the start date. I made the Facebook page. I did all of the things for him. And in the background, I was building my own business and working full time. Fast forward several years later, and we decided to get a divorce. Things just didn't work out. The why doesn't matter, but what does matter, and what I'm really struggling with right now, and I'm sure that I'm not alone, is that I was the breadwinner, right? He was a small business owner, so tax returns, you know, write-offs, all the things. And I worked full-time W-2, making over 6 figures a year. So when it came down to time for our divorce, even though the reasons of the divorce were not my fault fully, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm just as much to be held accountable for the divorce as him. Anyways, because I made the majority of the money on paper, I was required to take all of the debt in my divorce or pay him alimony or child support. And quite frankly, you got me f***ed up, because I ain't no motherfucker. So I willingly took all of the debt, and 100% am supposed to pay for all of the kids' activities and all of the things, which I do. And like, literally everybody in my life told me not to do that. And I thought, it's fine. I've got it. I'll be able to handle it. Everything's fine. I'm going to be able to do it. And here we are, like 2 years out, and I'm literally f***ing drowning. I quit my job to take my business full-time last year, and it was really not, didn't really want to quit. I really wasn't financially ready to quit, but I had missed so much work because my oldest son had, you know, been hospitalized for his mental health a couple times, and then my daughter with her diabetes, and I was a sales commission job, so my customer service score was dropping. So it was like a mutually agreeable, like, okay, we're going to see you later type deal with my full-time job. And I am just like, I'm f***ing drowning in debt. And like, I get calls every single day. Like, hey, you owe us this money, and hey, you owe us this money. And I'm like literally just trying to pay my rent. And I'm not asking for anything unless you like want to join my coaching programs. Like, that would be great. But like, I'm not asking for you to like Venmo me money. I'm venting because I'm so frustrated, because it's like, life's not fair. And I know that, and I'm not going to like sit in victim mentality, but like, it should not be this hard to live in this country. And I'm drowning, and I'm not the only one, and I gotta go to my daughter's basketball tournament. Okay, bye.
It was the things that he said in the way that made me feel that's the reason why I'm not with him today. And one of those things that he said to me was when we were already splitting up and I was moving out, and I was telling him like, hey, you know, we don't need to do a nasty divorce, but like, you do need to like give me some money to go on about my way, because I've been a stay-at-home mom for the past year and a half, and I don't have anything to show for that year where I could have been earning money. I was at home taking care of us. Like, you got to work because of my sacrifice. So I deserve something. And like nothing unreasonable, but just something so that I can breathe, so that I'm not like paycheck to paycheck, literally. And he told me, he said, and I also said that, yeah, I didn't work, but like I provided value because I gave birth to 2 children and I raised them, and I helped with family life. And his answer was, what you did, that's not how value works. What you did didn't have any value because there was a lot of women who wanted to give me kids. I could have had kids with anybody, but you can't just run out and go find a man to provide for you any day of the week. So me providing for you was more valuable than you giving me 2 children.
You hear what that man told her? You'll never find another provider like me. And a lot of y'all are looking for providers. And you get mad when men like me say, go 50-50, pay bills. Cause you think that's because I want a man to get over on you. You think it's because I think, you know, a man shouldn't take you out on dates or anything like that. No. Protect yourself. Go half on the bills. Go half on rent, mortgage, whatever the case may be. Have enough money to pay your own bills, whether that's a car note, car insurance, all that kind of stuff. Because should you choose to say, I want to get up and go for whatever reason, now I think you should work on your marriages. Some of y'all are being abused. Sometimes terrible things happen, right? But if it happens that I have done it all, I have truly given it all, I want to get up and go. The only way you can do so is if you are in the position to be able to provide for yourself. And in some women's cases, for yourself and your child. So now you are deadlocked in a space where you wanted a provider so bad, and you got one. To think that you are going to leave that person, they are still going to, of their own volition, without courts involved, provide for you once you're gone, when you end that relationship, putting yourself in a bad space. So, you know, let this be a lesson, y'all. Go 50-50.
I just came to the realization that, like, if you're 40 years old, you're never gonna find love. Like, oh my god.
Like, oh my god. Well, yeah, if you're over 40 and you still act and talk like you're in high school, the men you want are gonna be like,
you need to mature. You need to become an adult.
Sorry, I woke up like really, really emotional because I was married for, oh my god, I need to stop. I was married for over 20 years, and like, I was so used to being a wife. Like, I loved being married, you know? Like, I love being a wife. I love having like that one person I love coming home to and like venting all my to.
So basically, you didn't actually love your husband, you just loved having an emotional dumpster that paid your bills. Yep, crap like this is why we stopped marrying you lovely ladies.
And now it's like, yeah, you date people and like sparks fly, and then it's just like, oh, I found better, you know?
Well, yeah. That's what happens when you operate on a deregulated dating market. Everybody's looking for the bigger, better deal. That's probably what you were looking for when you divorced your husband. But see, what you failed to consider, though, is that a divorced woman in her 40s is not the bigger, better deal that the men you want are looking for.
You have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting.
I think some of you guys missed my story time because, I don't know, I posted the dumbest video of me at Home Depot. It didn't go viral. But, like, I was talking to my ex again, and there was a TikTok, I had a fan on here, a TikTok follower that messaged me, and she said, hey, I started talking to this guy and I noticed on his Instagram like those highlight reels, you were in one of.
I'm honestly really sad right now, if you can tell. That's like the weirdest thing about grief is like, didn't cry for 2 days, was good for 2 days, and now I'm by myself, and it's just like the hurricane, like it's here again, you know? It's, the tsunami is back. Like, it's just so hard, and like I'm frustrated because I, got, my whole world got disheveled. And I feel like he has moved on, and he is healed and moved on and doesn't care about me, which I don't want him to come back into my life, but it still just sucks, I can't imagine, thank you guys for sharing stuff, like stories that you've gotten through this and it's been however many years, because I could not imagine that. I can't imagine being with someone for a really long time and going through this, Sorry if you can hear my cat literally playing in the background. I was only with him for 4.5 years, 1 year married. I could not imagine, though, being with him for longer and this happening, but it's just so sad sometimes, and it's like so hard to have to learn how to do life by yourself again. You don't have that person to call all the time or that best friend to go do things with. And that's what scares me. I've never truly been alone and worked on myself, and I'm terrified of it. Not me crying on the internet more, but I just want to share all of it, the good and the bad, so that I have this to look on a year from now and know that I did heal, but also to help anybody else who's going through heartbreak. Heartbreak sucks. It sucks so bad. You physically feel the pain, emotionally, mentally, everything. And again, I had 2 really, really good days. Did not cry at all those 2 days. And then, as soon as I'm by myself, or as soon as, I do something or something triggers me, it just all comes flooding back. And it's just a lot. Grief sucks. This whole thing sucks so bad, and I'm literally praying and thinking about anybody else going through a divorce. I just wanted to talk about the fact that it's okay to sit down and miss the person sometimes, miss the connection you had. I think a lot of the times I try, and I think I'm really strong about what happened to me most of the time, and I think that I haven't cried about my ex in a long time, actually. But today, I just kind of sat down, and this is a holiday I probably would have spent with his family too, and it's okay to just miss what you had sometimes. I know that we try and tell ourselves well, they weren't right for us, or maybe they were a bad person, or maybe they did this, or they did this to you. And while I think that's true, and I think that you can tell yourself that, that's I try and put on this sorry, this is very rambly, but I really did just pick up the camera and start talking. I think what I'm trying to say is that we tell ourselves, or at least I do, if I'm thinking about my ex, I typically am just nope, not going to think about him. We're detaching, you know what I mean? And that works the majority of the time. But sometimes you can just sit down and cry. You can sit down and let out your feelings. And I think people who don't ever cry about the things, or people who don't ever let themselves think about it, we have to think about it. We have to feel the things. And that doesn't make you weak. Being vulnerable does not make you weak. I really hate when people say that. Because life is all about the human emotions and what we go through. You know what I mean? That is literally life. And I just think that it's okay to just sit down and miss what you had. It's okay to, and that's not even me saying, oh, I miss my ex, I miss blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that sometimes I miss having a connection like that, where I felt oh, I had a person, right? And I had my person. I miss that for sure, but I think sometimes it's okay. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to sit. And I think a lot of the times we try and distract, or we try and fill with voids, or we try and move on to the next person. And some days it's okay to just sit, and it's okay to have a cry and get back out there in life.
Something really quickly. So whenever I figured out that my ex-husband was dating the girl that I was worried about at the end of our marriage, I was so sad at first. And then I realized how much stronger I am now than even I was 6 months ago, because that would have made me feel devastated for like weeks, I feel like. And I was really only sad for like a day or two. Like, yeah, it still hurts. It's disappointing and it hurts, but it's almost like the anticipation of what I thought was going to be my worst nightmare. Now that it like came true, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, that says way more about him than it does me and our relationship. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just kind of wanted to share that and share where my headspace is at and everything.
I just found out today that my ex-husband is engaged and I'm unwell.
Yep.
And like, even though, yes, it was me that was like, hi, I want divorce. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. It brings up all these feelings. It brings up all this like stuff. And we have a kid, and it brings up all this stuff around him.
So why she's upset that her ex-husband got engaged? It's because she now sees another woman that's going to be living her previous life. She's living her previous life that she is now regretting. She is now regretting that she left her husband, and she's seeing another woman just moving into her place. She basically just regrets the divorce. That's what it is.
I wish that I had more people that were like totally honest and like super transparent in really difficult times.
My man just replaced her. It was really that simple. Because all the tears and everything you're seeing in this video is just pure regret. You gave up your life. You initiated the divorce. The guy's like, okay, fine, let's get divorced. A little bit of time later, he replaces her. Her current life is being alone. I'm sure she has a few cats. And now she sees her ex-husband still winning. He's moved on and he's replaced her. And now she has to watch another woman living her dream life. Yikes. I wanted the divorce. How dare he do better than me? Yeah, exactly. Funny how the kid didn't matter when she wanted the divorce, but now all of a sudden she uses it as a token. Yikes. Spoiled children often hate playing with their old toys until they see someone else enjoying it. Whew. Damn, that is a good comment. That is so on point, actually. I was engaged to a woman and then she ended up breaking it off. About a year or two later, she calls me and asks if I ever think about getting back together. I took great satisfaction in telling her no, and that I was engaged to someone else, and please don't call me again. Damn, dude. That's an interesting one. Leave your comments below. Now let's get on with the show.
One thing I wish I would have known before I got my second divorce, or not known, but like believed, is that you can heal inside of a relationship. I think so many times we're stuck on this. I have to go find myself. I have to get divorced so I can heal. I'll break up. I have to be alone, whatever it may be. And it's just like simply not true. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I obviously took the route of I'm going to leave so I can heal. However, like, what if I had believed that like I could heal? I could have healed inside that relationship, that I didn't have to go and be single and be alone.
Oh, actually. Okay, so we got some actual self-reflection right here. This is something I agree with. You focus on building that life together. You know, it's not like that person is going to be perfect. It's not like you're going to be perfect. It's more about building that life together. Instead of, hey, this one problem showed up. Let's just nuke the relationship instead. Let's not try and work this out. Let me not try and deal with this on my own. Let's just nuke it all. Yeah, man, work it out together.